Welcome to another edition of a full day in my kitchen videos. I think this is the third video I've filmed. I filmed one over the weekend where I normally cook a lot because Corey's off work so he can help me with the babies a bit more. Then I think I did a weekday on a day that Corey's working from home, and this day was actually weekday, but Corey was working in the office. So I was home alone with the babies, and I kind of wanted to show all the variations of how much time I spent in the kitchen depending on what's going on. Now I'm thinking about it, maybe Corey was working from home the last video I filmed of the full day in my kitchen. I don't really remember now. This video was actually filmed by the time it goes up about 2 weeks ago. I've just kind of had a back stock of filming going on, especially since I was filming the week of my life. The first thing I did this morning when I got back from the gym, I baked up the sourdough loaf that I made the day before, just popped in the oven, then went upstairs, got ready for the day, and then it was ready to take off the lid and do like the final baking. The way sourdough works is that you bake it in a cast iron or a big pot for the first like 2/3 of the bake, and then you take the lid off. You see the oven spring, that's the most like exciting part, and then the latter third of the bake you bake the sourdough without the lid on at a slightly lower temperature. After that, this day I decided to make some sourdough discard biscuits. I use up all of my discard with a lot of recipes. What I was going to say is that I do try and use up the discard within like a week. I don't think it can go bad because I keep it in the fridge, but just in case, I don't know. And I like that sourdough flavor. So this day, I decided to make these sourdough biscuits. It was actually my first time trying this recipe and it came out so good. You make them in a cast iron, so it's pretty easy once you get the dough together. I did roll them a little too thin, I think, because the ones that I didn't roll as thin puffed up more and just were like flakier and yummier and biscuit-like versus the ones that I rolled a little bit too thin. They didn't have as good of a texture, and I could tell I rolled it too thin because according to the recipe, I ended up with way too many. I think the recipe said it made 9 and I made 12 or something like that. I served those up with some eggs to Corey, and then I gave the baby some fruit as well. This recipe was also nice, and I kind of like any recipe where there's a lot of time in the oven. Well, not a lot of time, but a fair amount of time, because it gives you time to clean up the kitchen as you go. One of the things that I feel like as you cook and bake more that you get better and better at is cleaning up as you go. I remember I've liked cooking for a quite long time. Like I liked cooking since I was very young, but when I got more into cooking things from scratch, I would say that was like college age or so. And when I first started, I would always just have like a big mess afterwards. But as I've gotten more and more into it, I've figured out how to like kind of clean up as you go so you're not done and just have like this big overwhelming mess. So if you're new to cooking things from scratch or just cooking in general, know that as you continue, like most things, as you practice, you will get better. Next thing I made, while Lev was actually down for his morning nap, I like to make things with Jude. I would say like once a week minimum, sometimes up like 1 to 2 times a week. She really loves baking and cooking and just helping me in the kitchen. She likes helping in any way. She's a very, very helpful girly, and she has been that way since she was probably about like 11-12 months. She just always wants to help and be involved. So we decided to make some chocolate peanut butter protein balls. I'll put the recipe on the screen. They're pretty easy to make, pretty hard to mess up. I like recipes like this, especially with her, because if she wants to pour something in, the pouring gets a little bit off, things like this, it's okay. I also want to get in the habit of making these more often. They're so yummy and such an easy snack to grab. Jude loves them too. Lev, I don't think he tried them, but as he gets older, he'll be able to eat them as well. I don't love to give my babies protein powder until they're at least under 1. I just feel like it's a little sketchy. And honestly, I don't even love it that often because, to be real, we don't actually know what's in the protein powder. I won't go into that whole discussion, but we don't know for sure. And they're young. Let's just be a little bit careful with our babies. I like to put them in the freezer just to set a little bit more, and then once they're set, I do just store them in like the cupboard in a airtight container. Then after Lev got up from his nap and we played a bit, it was time for their lunch. I made their lunch very, very easy. This is okay. We don't always have to make things. It's okay, especially during the week when you know you're not going to have as much time. Give yourself some grace. It's okay. Not always, sometimes I am quite hard on myself if I'm being honest, but I do try and remind myself that like It's okay. It's okay, is what I try to remind myself. So this day I gave them some leftover sourdough discard pancakes that I made either the day before or the day before that, and then just did a cheese stick and then some fruit. I also made myself a very easy lunch. I usually don't eat lunch until Lev is down for his nap, and then I eat while he's napping. I say Lev because Jude goes down a little bit earlier, then Lev goes down, and then they're both asleep. Like they overlap probably like an hour and a half. But I don't need to go into their whole schedule in this video. If you're curious, I can let you know. I like to get these little Asian salad kits. So this one specifically is very, very yummy. You know how sometimes you, like for some reason when you get a salad out and about, I'm not going to say for some reason, we know the reason. When you sit at home and try and make a salad, you're like, it's not really as good. These little salad kits, this one specifically is very, very yummy and just gives you that restaurant feel. I like to also buy this pre-shredded rotisserie chicken, and then I put that on top of the salad. I also like this salad with hard-boiled eggs on top. I think I've also done salmon on top before. Very yummy, very easy. Again, I wanted to show this video as a full day in my kitchen as kind of like an quote-unquote easier day, a more relaxed day, and show that I'm not making every single thing from scratch all the time. Closing out the video, the last thing I made this day, I probably made like a coffee and things like that I didn't include. I like these videos because I think they're more helpful than what I eat in a day, is because I include things that I'm making that I'm not even necessarily eating. So it's just like you're getting more meal ideas, which is the point of what I eat in days. At least that's why I watch what I eat in days. This night, I decided to make a very easy dinner. I made these plant-based meatballs, put them in my cast iron with some olive oil, very easy again. I plan out our dinners, but I always have something in the freezer that if I'm not feeling it, you're just like, oh, I'm not cooking tonight. You have something. And I say this because it's just, in my opinion, better than ordering out. And then for the babies, I gave them each a half an avocado. Both of them love avocado, especially Jude. Gave Jude girl carrot sticks as well. Neither of them love the meatballs. They both try them, which is always the goal. It's a little bit required in our house that what's on your plate, you at least have to try it. You don't have to eat it. We don't do clear your plate, but you have to at least try it. I also gave Lev some tortellini, and that's what I also gave Corey. Jude does not love pasta, and then I just don't really like plain cheese tortellini that much. And I accidentally deleted the last clip of this video, so I don't even have a clip of our final plate. But yeah, that was a full day in my kitchen. Let me know what you think. Let me know if these videos are still interesting and helpful. I hope you have the best weekend, or if you're watching this video a little later, I hope you have the best week. I hope this video is helpful, and I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me. Bye.